There are four Big Ten freshmen shining in spring practice so far. There was an article put out by Carter Bonds, Bahns. I apologize if I'm saying that wrong. He has named four freshmen in the Big Ten, 10 overall, but four of them in the Big Ten that are shining. And long behold, number one, the one that I predicted would be starting at Michigan, game one, is Bryce Underwood. Zach,
Mm.
the people cannot get enough of the Bryce Underwood. He will be starting. Even if he's not starting, he will have a substantial role on this team. I don't know if it's good for him. I don't know if it's bad for him. But after the quarterback play we saw at Michigan last year, they need some hope. And I think Mikey Keene might be dealing with some kind of injury or something like that. So even more fuel to
Mm.
the fire here for Bryce Underwood. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, my view on Underwood has shifted over the past several weeks because I mean, you know where I was coming from. I thought Keene was going to be the stopgap while Underwood kind of got his feet under him. I don't think you're going to be able to slow the hype train down. Like the NIL deal, now the spring practice buzz, Mikey Keene possibly being hurt. I think Underwood is the guy at this point, and it would take, I think, a minor miracle for Keene to be able to supplant him at this point because all the like you just don't have this type of buzz. I mean, he's getting Jeremiah Smith type buzz. And I remember I tried to slow, like I was like, let's slow down the hype train on Jeremiah Smith. And then of course, like Jeremiah Smith, it ends up being all world. And that's kind of the same thing we're getting with Bryce Underwood. And so it is harder at quarterback. Like I don't think it's great that a true freshman is going to be your starter, at least for the first 6 games. But I think if he has the talent, that means that he will elevate them at some point eventually. And I think it's good in the long term, but I think people who are expecting consistency in the first few games, but the fact that he's flashing this much, I mean, he's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, if he is Jeremiah Smith good, sure, start a freshman right away. Now, I think the problem here is that Jeremiah Smith had time with the other good wide receivers on the roster that he didn't have to be Superman game
Yeah.
one, and really game one, like they were playing cupcakes for the first 3 games of the schedule. That's my thing with Bryce Underwood is like in the first 4 weeks, he's going to Oklahoma and he's going to Nebraska. I'm not
Yep.
saying Nebraska and Oklahoma are playoff teams or anything like that, but I am saying those are two tough environments to go to. You got Bryce Underwood going in there, and then you also got Bryce Underwood saying quotes like, "I mean, this is teetering on Signetti level of quotes," and I think if things don't pan out for Bryce this year, people could start talking a little bit. But he said he would like to win a couple of Heisman's and at least one Natty, just a couple
Mm,
Heisman's.
just a
Zach, just a
couple.
couple.
Yeah.
Three would be too lofty, but maybe just a
Hmm.
couple. What do you think?
Well, I think the biggest issue is his surrounding cast at this point, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I don't care how talented you are. I mean, you point out Jeremiah Smith, but there's a reason why at Ohio State, for instance, right, and even at Oregon, and Oregon has a lot of question marks too. But like at Ohio State, the reason why there's not as much concern about the quarterback situation is there's a lot of optimism about the pieces surrounding the quarterback. Like, who are your wide receivers? I know they are excited about some of the wide receivers that they've brought in, but like we haven't seen a lot of proof. They do have good running backs, right? The running back duo is great, but I am concerned about offensive line. I am concerned about tight end. Like, I'm concerned about what Michigan has been so good at offensively over the past 4 years. Aside from the running back room, I'm like, I don't know if I see a lot of elevation. Now, that being said, Sean Moore, fantastic offensive line developer. I know that's not his main role, but like there is reason to believe they can get an offensive line up to snuff. But like, let's be honest, that offensive line was not good last year, and you're now having to shuffle and do it. I just don't. I don't know if I see the roster around him.
Yeah, the offensive line is going to have to show the development piece of Michigan still. Like, you can have one year where it's like so, not very good, but you're bringing enough guys back from that offensive line that you should be able to show, hey, we developed these guys and we improved them. I was going to bring this up right before you did here, Zach. John says, I think Bryce Underwood will be very, very, very good, but my worry is he's either going to get hurt, God forbid that happens, or he'll be like Raiola and be bad as a freshman. The only reason I don't say the Raiola thing, and then I'll let you comment on this, Zach, is I do think Chip Lindsey is much more of an offensive coordinator than Marcus Satterfield was. So
That's
I
fair.
think that is going to help Bryce
Yep.
Underwood immensely. And also, too, like this is a like this, this is a situation where I felt like Dylan Raiola didn't have, I don't know, the wide receivers weren't like what they expected them to be last year, and then also the offense just didn't cater to what went well for them and what didn't, type of stuff. So what are your thoughts on it, Zach?
Yeah, in terms of Rayola and Rayola Underwood comparison, is that what you're?
Yeah, what John said in his comment.
Yeah, I think it's a good comparison because of baseline, right? Like we saw Rayola, who was highly touted, Underwood coming in. I I do think Underwood probably from a raw ability is better like at this point in his career than Rayola was at this point in his career a year ago. Um, yeah, I it's hard. I also think while Rayola did not have the like, I don't think Underwood has the best cast. I do think it's probably a little better. The running back room is far better than what Nebraska had a year ago. Like no disrespect to Nebraska.
Nebraska had depth, but they didn't have a star. But
Yeah.
Michigan has two guys that could both be stars in Jordan Marshall and Justice Haynes, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think your point about the offensive coaching staff is incredibly valid.
Yeah, it helps to not have Marcus Satterfield. All right,
Yeah.
next freshman. or Philip had a good comment I wanted to bring up too. He said, "Still realistic that Underwood gets ruined by getting forced into a role where he's expected to be Superman right away." I do think the thing that's interesting on this, and then a quick comment from you, Zach, before we move on to the next one. I think it's interesting, like the whole NFL mindset of like we draft the guy, we bring him in, we start him right away. Like with how many freshmen you're seeing start, not just at quarterback, but at every position in college football now, because these guys are getting paid. Like,
Yeah.
and if you are going to pay a freshman, you are going to start them, right? And these freshmen are also realizing, like, hey, I get paid more money if I start and if I play well. So, all in all, like, you're seeing more freshmen start and more freshmen being ready to start for them. But it does bring into the NFL issue where some guys just get thrust into a role too soon. I was one
Yeah.
on record saying it was better for JJ McCarthy to sit a year. Now, obviously, it's not good for him to get hurt. Didn't want that to happen, but it was better for JJ McCarthy to sit for a year, see the NFL a little bit more, and then get
Mhm.
into the starting position rather than just thrusting him into that right away. I think that's good for certain quarterbacks. Other quarterbacks seem like they can just kind of go through it. We'll see what Bryce Underwood is.
I think that's why the Oklahoma game is such a and Nebraska for that matter concerning games because you don't think Brent Venables, who has not had a great tenure so far as the Oklahoma head coach, but what's he known for? Making life miserable for a quarterback. Like
Yeah.
that's his calling card. And you saw it happen to I'm not comparing Jalen Milrow to Underwood, but you saw what he did to Jalen Milrow. I mean, it was miserable.
Saw what Wink did to Jalen Milrow.
Right. That's fair.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, you're talking about a freshman going to Norman week 2 against a Brent Venable led defense, which has some talent. That's a tough task. And then you got to go week 4 to Lincoln and play a pretty good defense there too.
Yeah, for sure. Dave's here says running back room takes a lot off his pressure. A
A
lot
lot of
of his
pressure off.
pressure off. I can't read. Sorry. Dave, I thought that was a good comment. Appreciate you saying that. Last one here from Philip, and then we'll move on. 18 to 22 development is extremely significant for body development, and developing bad habits to adjust is a concern. Yeah, you're exactly right. It's not just starting too early and stuff like that, but also the development and bad habits, everything like that as well. You're exactly right there, Philip. So we'll see what Bryce Underwood does. If he is as talented as everybody makes him out to be, I think he'll be just fine. If not, might take him a year or two, and we'll see if the bad habits and stuff like that persist. The next freshman from the Big Ten they point out, Zach, is Decorian Moore. Decorian Moore is entering into an offense that is losing Tez Johnson and Trayshawn Holden. Evan Stewart is coming back, so that helps them. But looks like Decorian Moore could be starting, if not getting a lot of snaps in this wide receiver room for Oregon. In one article, I think I sent that one to you, he actually went as far to say that Dante Moore will win the Heisman or has a good chance to win the Heisman or something like that next year. So
Time out. Okay, if everybody's declared winning the Heisman, no one's winning the Heisman. Can we just
well,
stop this
Bryce
nonsense?
Underwood said just two. Okay, he's got 4 years, three, so Bryce can give it away this year. I'm just kidding. But I mean, it shows he's got confidence in his guy. Dante Moore seems to be the guy coming out of camp. Austin Novosad maybe was gonna contend there a little bit, but seems like Dante Moore is the guy. All I know is more, in my opinion. Dante Moore to Decorian Moore. Give me D Moore. Right, Zach? Was that
Oh
lame, Jake? Was that
gosh.
lame?
I mean, well,
You weren't ready for that one, were you?
no, but I don't think I made the connection that it would be D Moore to D Moore. Listen,
Well, and like
I hate.
on their jerseys, it's literally gonna have to say DAK dot Moore, and then Dante Moore is gonna have to be DAN dot Moore.
Well, one of them might just be Moore, and the other one might be Dak Moore, or I don't know.
This is why we need
Seniority.
nicknames on jerseys. This is why we need
Yeah,
nicknames. So
yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
WR1, QB1. There we go. That's your name. Um, I hate to be a wet blanket on this, man, but I'm not surprised that he's like like a standout. But again, I think if you're expecting I think it's very possible he gets 800-900 yards, and in this offense, maybe even over 1,000. But listen, you need to see it, and maybe this is the same. Like before, people rake me over the coals saying, "What you weren't saying about the Jeremiah Smith?" Yes, I was. Like full stop. I was not on the like. I knew Jeremiah Smith would be good. I didn't think he'd be that good. Um, and that's my approach with Decorian Moore until he shows it against Big Ten competition. I think he's going to be good. I think he's insanely athletic. He's a different receiver profile. Not shocked at all that he's impressing in camp, and not shocked at all that he has a bunch of confidence. Guess what? He hasn't played a college game yet. So I tampered down the expectations, but I think he's going to be really good.
Yeah, he's gonna be really good. I don't think he's gonna step in and be Tez Johnson right away. Like if everybody just expects him to be Dante Moore's favorite target and go to him on third down, like if that's what people are expecting, like you have those expectations for Kenyon Sadiq. Like that's who you need to have those expectations for.
Yeah.
Just let the Corian Moore get into the rhythm of things. Continue to develop. That's the best kind of stuff for him. And he's a freshman. He's excited, just like he should be. So
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see what it is for Decorian Moore. Next one, this one's a little interesting. Ohio State, they named Devin Sanchez as one who's showing out in camp, but I got to be honest here, Zach. In the scrimmage on Saturday, they had a student appreciation scrimmage. It was actually wide receiver Quincy, wide receiver for Ohio State. It was actually wide receiver Quincy Porter that lost his black stripe that day. Which, if you know anything about the black stripe, it's essentially the way of like ingratiating somebody into the team as like you've earned your way onto the team type of deal. Some guys lose it very early in their freshman year. Some guys lose it into their freshman year, and there's other guys that don't lose it until their second year. Type of deal. So it's just kind of like I don't think you even are able to make it on the field very much, if at all, unless you get your black stripe removed. So it's just a tradition they have there at Ohio State. Devin Sanchez still has his black stripe. Quincy Porter doesn't. So I don't know. If I'm writing an article about a freshman at Ohio State, yeah, Devin Sanchez is one heck of a freshman, and he's going to be really, really good. But it's Quincy Porter that lost his black stripe. What say you, Zach?
Yeah, my only thought would be if he's taking into account who's going to get playing time. Quincy Porter might be wide receiver 5, which is kind of insane if you think about it.
They were saying he is Jeremiah Smith's backup.
Yeah. And
So
how
probably not
often are
going to see the
you?
field a lot.
I was say, how often are you going to see the field over Jeremiah Smith?
Yeah, not often.
Yeah. Whereas Devin Sanchez, like corner is a position, like it's a position of need. Like there's a lot of young corners coming in. Aaron Scott, I think Jermaine Matthews played a lot last year, but Sanchez, I think he has a different body type too. Like I mean, he's a big, young, physical corner. So again, I tampering down the hype, freshman corner, and has to go against some elite wide receivers, right? Carnell Tate, Jeremiah Smith, and he's tangling with them. But I would imagine that he's going to have more opportunity for playing time, and that's probably why he's getting a little bit more buzz. And he's like their biggest recruit in this class.
Yeah. I think the freshman that's going to get the most, yards and admiration and everything at Ohio State is probably going to be Bo Jackson. And that is no shot to the other running backs they have there. It's just Bo Jackson. My guy Jack on Bucks has been saying it, dude. He is something else. He is one heck of a running back.
For the longest time, I really thought it was Bo Jackson's son, and I was like, "We got Bo Jackson's son." And then I was like,
you know what his first name is, right?
No,
Lamar Jackson. They named him Lamar Bo Jackson.
It's Lamar Jackson's son. He's like 10 years older or 10 years younger.
Yeah,
sorry, this is wrong.
That's hilarious. Hey, before we move on to the last one, let's say hello to Doreen. Hello, Doreen. Hey, JR and Zack. Good to see you here, Doreen. We appreciate you being here. Doreen said that sometimes she falls asleep too early to watch the show, Zack. So Doreen is staying up late for us tonight on a Sunday night. We appreciate you, Doreen.
Yes, as someone who likes to go to bed early, I appreciate you, Doreen.
Yeah,
that means a lot to stay up late
Zach
to watch us.
I keep Zach up on Sunday and Tuesdays though, and then sometimes we go an hour and a half in, and he's like, "I gotta get to bed."
And John says 3 hours, and I'm like, "Stop it!"
Yeah,
don't do that to me.
Him or Philip.
Oh yeah. We're not going
look at this.
3 hours.
Haven't seen a Illini Bubba in a while. So haven't joined in a while. Hi, hey Bubba. Glad to have you here. We appreciate it. So thanks for coming. It's the off season. A lot of people are getting their time in with the basketball and everything like that. So I figured we'd have some people, but glad to see some people coming back as well. And there we go, the Penn State guy as well.
Yes.
Hey fellas. Hi, Penn State guy. Hey, Penn State guy, you're here just in time because the next freshman we're going to talk about is Darius Dixon. I love Dixson. Dick's son. Just always kind of messes me up there. But Darius Dixon, freshman cornerback, coming in, talking about how he has been shining in practice. Just going to read an excerpt here from the article. He says the 4-star recruit could even surpass some of his 5-star counterparts in playing time if everything clicks. Dixon is a ready-made pass defender and a massive wingspan, an impressive motor, and considering the Nittany Lions have to replace Jalen Kimber, there are reps to go around. Shocker, Zach, Penn State finds themselves a really good defensive back, and they're going to put him out there, and he's probably going to be really good. This is one of the things that Penn State has become known for. Linebacker, but they also have some really good defensive backs as well. Thoughts here, Zach?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big deal for them, right? They need corners to step up. And so for him to, he's one of their 3 top 100 recruits in this class, according to 247. So you got to have, we've been talking about Penn State kind of getting to that next level. You got to have your top 100 recruits hit. And so the fact that Dixon is making noise, I think that's actually a really big deal just for the culture of the program to say, hey, the guys that we're going after, they are hitting. So I think it's really good for them to get another corner, to get that back end, which, again, they're going to have to face some really good wide receivers this season with Ohio State, with Oregon. So the fact that Dixon is shining early, that's a big deal.
Yeah, for sure. Reminds me of Notre Dame last year, how they had a couple 4-star guys in the secondary that just kind of went off and did some really cool stuff. So, yeah, very very cool.